How long do you think really it takes up to set up an office space in Bangalore? When I say that, a fully operational office. Most founders that I've been speaking to assume that it takes at least 3 to 4 months for them to do that, because one, you need to find the building, then you need to do the fit outs, then you need to get all the amenities in, the internet in, and all that. So most of the founders say that it's about 3 to 4 months. And the biggest point I kind of emphasize with the founders that I speak to is that treat time as money. Time is currency, as all of us treat in our businesses. But then if you end up spending 4 months in just finding an office and finalizing an office, you've kept your team away from a place where they can bond with each other for that time. So just consider that as your investment, and my suggestion is that you could short circuit that by looking at a non-traditional way to office space. It doesn't take 3 to 4 months for anybody to find an office space in today's circumstances, right? If you take co-working for an example, you could be warming your seats the next day. Literally, figuratively, and technically speaking, you could actually be warming up the seats the next day. Provided, let's say you have a slightly larger requirement, let's say a 40-seater or a 50-seater or even bigger. Even if you go the managed office route, you could look at all of this happening in a period of 2.5 months to 3 months at best. You could do that. And if you have a lot more complicated requirement, then you could stretch it up to 3 months. We don't start off with a list of 20 options that we send on a WhatsApp or an email, right? So we sit with them, understand who they are, what company they are, what kind of a culture are they building, where in their growth journey they are, right? Understand the projections from there, what office means to them, right? Are they a hybrid company? Are they a remote first company? Are they a fully in-office company? What functions are going to perform from that location, whether it's the sales team, operations team, product team, marketing team, and how well they need to work with each other. How much do things like privacy matter to them? How much do things like employee experience matter to them? So we kind of collect all this information as much as possible from the first conversations that we have with the decision makers, and subsequently, obviously, AI helps us a lot in kind of understanding the company, the history, the funding history, and so on and so forth, and the founders and their history and background. So that gives us a great idea what kind of office kind of really fits for this particular company, right? And then we have our own internal database, and we also have plug-in into third-party systems like CRE Flow that gives us a lot of intelligent data in terms of operators, locations, price points, availability, amenities, grade A versus grade B, what's the square feet given for a seat, is it spacious, is it a little compact, right? So we have a lot of data, and then when my team finally puts out the recommendations, so these are recommendations, right? So these are not options, and then that saves you a lot of time, right? So you, rather than running behind a broker who shows you like 5-7 options every day, and you are on the street each day spending 3-4 hours and just going and seeing options and getting dejected in the process, saying that hey, this does not fit my requirement, or you've seen 20 options but you're still not sure whether you've seen the option that is close to your heart, right? All of this takes a lot of time, and I've seen this happen, and that's what we passionately try to solve. So approaching this as a scientific endeavor rather than doing it as a very emotional endeavor, right, is what we help founders do. So first, ensure that you have identified the right spaces that fit you even before you step out of the comfort of your current office to go visit the places, right? So getting those recommended options from the right broker, from the right property consultant who gives you that. And I still strongly suggest that you take the help of somebody, an expert in this space, because there's too many things that could confuse you and too many things that you can go wrong with, right? And after you've signed a 2-year lease, you cannot use an eraser to correct the decision that you've made. So taking an expert advice here, I would by all means, and specifically if you're looking at a managed office, I would say by all means, please do that, right? And then there are a lot of moving parts to an office space, right? So obviously the infrastructure itself, then there's the commercial terms involved, then the flexibility that the space offers to you in terms of how you can grow within the space for the next X number of years. Does it give you the very hard glass ceiling that you cannot grow beyond, or does it allow you to grow? Is it more tactical that you're taking up this office? Then that problem has to be solved differently. If you're taking an office for a strategic reason, right? So some of the companies take an office space just for a project, or they just need an office space for the next 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. So that's a more tactical move, right? And there, if you boil the ocean and you spend months and months or weeks and weeks to design such a tactical office, it's not prudent, right? But whereas if it's a strategic move, you're looking at a home for your business for the next 3 years, then the effort and time and the energy that you put in makes a lot of sense. And when it comes to interiors, right, a lot of you might say like, hey, if I take up a co-working space or a managed office, it doesn't feel like my office, right? It's not mine, right? In a lot of cases, yes, a co-working space may look similar across the board. I mean, your office and the next company's office next door could look very similar. But when you take a managed office, you could really customize it with it the way you want it, from the carpets to the table colors to the chairs to the ceiling, whether you want an open ceiling and you want a industrial ceiling, what kind of colors you want inside, right? What kind of branding you want on the walls. Everything inside your office can be customized the way exactly you want. So take an example of a company called BluePond.ai. They are an AI company into the insurance space. We've built a office that looks exactly like their corporate HQ in Gurgaon. So they have taken an office in Chennai at a managed office provider. Spec to spec, it looks exactly the same like their HQ in Gurgaon, because every aspect of the office has been tailored to their requirement, right? And then being in a managed office space or a co-working space, you get the shared amenities, right? And then the overall cost of ownership comes down because you're not paying for those shared amenities. It is being shared. I mean, sharing economy comes into play. So the meeting room, for example, the one I'm sitting in, it doesn't belong to me. I've just booked it up the next couple of hours for me to take some important calls and record this video. So I'm not paying for this when I'm not using for it. So that way the cost of ownership comes down, yet you get a premium infrastructure, all decked up infrastructure whenever you need it. That's available to you on the tap of a button on the phone app, quite literally speaking. So these are things that you could do to get a very operational office with all the bells and whistles of internet, of coffee, tea, of whiteboards in the meeting rooms, conference rooms, markers, and full service security, housekeeping, all of that in less than like a couple of months, right? So these are things that you could look at. And when you specifically a growing company and you look at multiple cities, then working with people like GoFloaters and there are other people as well, you could have one contract that gets multiple cities covered in the same contract. So you don't have multiple agreements to review and multiple clauses to vet, right? You have a standardized commercial that you could repeat for every city that you get into, right? And like, again, for every city, there could be a tactical version of an office and there could be a more strategic version of an office. And each city also, if city A is for your core team, city B maybe for your sales team. So what the office definition for a sales team changes from that of a corporate HQ where you have the core finance team or the product team and all. You can get into a functional operational office much faster than what you imagined. And even if for the most customized office, 2 to 3 months tops, you can have an operational office. And summing it up again, time is money. How much of time do you waste in finding an office, getting the office specced out exactly the same way you want? You're going to save a lot of time, and time is money. So you save a lot of money for your business. And eventually delivering an office to your team a few weeks in advance or a month in advance means that they get an extra month to bond over. They get an extra month to settle in. They get an extra month to build the culture, to build the new way of work that you want to give them. And they get one extra month to get adjusted to everything else, right? So they commute, food, all the other things that they have to weave in the office into as part of their daily life. So you give them the extra 1 month, and that 1 month could mean a lot of value to you. And that one extra month of working together and in a better environment could give you that additional growth. So thank you for listening in, and looking forward to helping some of you through these choices.